Bruchim Abayim. Tayre Tmimim to Chidon Moshiach Tafshin Pei Vav. We are joined here with a phenomenal, unique group of Tmimim, 400 of you, which have Baruch Hashem aced tremendous amounts of tests. Each one of you has put in and invested hours upon hours in the Rebbe's Torah, in Nigla and in Chassidus, all areas of Torah discussing in Yoni Geula Mashiach. We find ourselves now at the culmination of the 24 hours of a day like Gimel Tammuz, that each one of us is Roishai V'Rubai of every Tamim, every Chassid, but Kolshkein every Tamim in Rebbe. And there's no more befitting celebration and farbrengen to be part of, like being, it's a chus for me to be part of this group in this room, joined by 400 Tmimim that have completed and mastered 3 contras and 3 booklets of all in Yoni Geula Mashiach. I want to share a thought at the beginning of this farbrengen. It was Lag Baimer Tafshin Yud Aleph, where the Rebbe made reference to a story connected to Gimel Tammuz. The Rebbe referenced to the Rishimas HaMaiser, where the Frierdiker Rebbe describes his imprisonment. And the Frierdiker Rebbe describes walking through that narrow hallway, which I'm sure each one of you had an opportunity to read, to learn. And the Frierdiker Rebbe, with his descriptive pen, articulates how just walking through that hallway, we're seeing these stone walls and the flickering torches, the dim lighting and the musty ear, with a soldier standing, protruding, coming into your place, into your face with a sword and a rifle. Whoever passes through this hallway, by the time you get to the end of the hallway, you sign whatever they tell you to sign. And the Frierdiker Rebbe was told that towards the end of the hallway to go into the right door, if I remember correctly. And the Frierdiker Rebbe, by mistake, so to speak, continued going and went past the end of the corridor and then entered a brighter room where he describes there was a bench. He sat down and another person sat down near him. The spirit was obviously lighter and it took away the whole impact of that hallway. And the Frierdiker Rebbe was obviously meant to enter the interrogation, and he passed that room. This person is discussing with the Frierdiker Rebbe. The Frierdiker Rebbe, he asks the Frierdiker Rebbe, where are you from? The Frierdiker Rebbe says, I'm from Lubavitch. And this person, a guy, starts describing that he also knows Lubavitch. He was a neighboring village that his father would take his horses and him to drink from the well of the Hoypt Rabbiner. And when he's describing this, the Frierdiker Rebbe is totally leaving this state of mind. This is the way the Frierdiker Rebbe describes it. And the Frierdiker Rebbe is taken and becomes very emotional. The person lights a cigarette. The Frierdiker Rebbe asks him also for a light. And in middle of the discussion, he parenthetically asks the Frierdiker Rebbe, from which direction where do you get here from? And the Frierdiker Rebbe says, from that hallway. When he hears that, he promptly, quickly ended the conversation and made a vayivrach. Pasha took off. And the Frierdiker Rebbe chapped all of a sudden the depth of the mistake and the gravity of his mistake. And the Frierdiker Rebbe says, now they're going to accuse me of trying to spy within the keller and in the deep in the tunnels and the basement of Spalerka. What is this going to cause? And the Frierdiker Rebbe is thinking, should he go back? The Frierdiker Rebbe reminds himself something that Bashkacha Pratas he included in a Maimer on Rosh Hashanah that year, Tafresh Pei Zayin. This is Tezvav of Sivan. The Frierdiker Rebbe included the Inyan of Bashkacha Pratas, and the Frierdiker Rebbe at that moment reminds himself and says, if so, this is where he's meant to be. And the Frierdiker Rebbe starts going into Olam HaMachshava. He starts expressing his thoughts, what's now going on with my daughters, of which he had tremendous nachas ruach in the moments of the arrest when Nachmanson and Lulav came over and they started discussing what party are you connected to, and they said it with pride, we're part of our father's party. Frierdiker Rebbe starts thinking, what's going on with my daughters? What's going on with the Chassidim? What's going on with the Ksavim? With his mother? Rebbe's in Stern Asara, and the Frierdiker Rebbe starts. The Frierdiker Rebbe is gripped by fear, the way he's describing it. Kivyachol. And then the Frierdiker Rebbe says, he's thinking and thinking what's with the Ksavim, what's with his family, and then he says, Abba, Abba, Hatzileni. He reminds himself, he turns to his father, to the Rebbe Rashab, and says, please, Father, save me. And when, after writing that in the Rishimus HaMaiser, in his own Ksav Yad Kodesh, the Frierdiker Rebbe makes that, and then writes Oisius HaMachshava. He continues on in the Rishimus HaMaiser and says the following. He says, I took a decision and a conviction that I'm not going to be afraid, I'm not going to change not one iota from the way I am in my mind frame from Lubavitch. And the Frierdiker Rebbe, with that decision, the Frierdiker Rebbe came back into the hallway, went into the interrogation room, and the rest is history. We all know they tried to threaten him with a gun, and he said, Shrekman is the person that has one world gets afraid of such a toy, and etc. So the Rebbe makes reference to this Rishima, and the Rebbe asks a question. The Rebbe asks, why is the Frierdiker Rebbe taking us into a journey into his own personal fears? What do we understand in a Rebbe and his thoughts and his fears? And the Rebbe says, listen to the following. The Rebbe says, the Frierdiker Rebbe is teaching us that when a person, regardless of where he finds himself, in what type of, so to speak, dungeon, in what type of matzav ruach, any circumstance a person may find himself, which could be grave and low, he reminds himself that he has a Rebbe, and all the problems disappear. He's ready to take that conviction. That's what the Frierdiker Rebbe told us and demonstrated by telling us. He reminded himself, Abba, Abba. When you remember you have a Abba, a father, a Rebbe, all problems aren't to naught. I want to share that this is a maramakim, it's a sicha, Tavshin Yodalev, Lag Baimer, it's a Rishimus HaMaiser. It's one thing when you see a person that's able to quote that he has a Rebbe. To see Tmimim, that funzei shines, it shines on their faces that they are the Rebbe's Tmimim. A Tamim that you can see on himself, that the Rebbe's koch and passion, we know from in the Mems, all the way through Nun Alf, Nun Beis, every sicha that's the pillar, the Nekudas Atamtis of the Farbrengen. When we see 400 Tmimim, each and every one of you, that is imbued with these sichas, is imbued with the Inyanim, in Nigla and Chzidis, other areas in Torah, with the passion the Rebbe has. This is not a quote as the Rebbe left. This is the Lebedike Rebbe. When you look at such a Tamim, you see Zarei B'chaim, you see the Rebbe left. I want to tell you it's a tremendous chos. Let's put our hands together for each and every one of you for being here tonight. You represent your entire yeshiva. You present hours upon hours. I would like to call to the podium a representative of 40 Tmimim that are here from Suffield Yeshiva, a tremendous amount of Bachrim. Hatamim Mordechai Rifkin is going to represent all of you by saying he's going to be mechubed with reading the Rebbe's kapitel. Please rise. Turn your eyes to the screen and follow after Hatam.
Shir Amaylis Abaytrim Badinei Karti and Leim Eight Leilam Yeshiv. Yerushalayim Harim Saviv Love Adinei Saviv Lame Miata Viadelam. Kilay and Noach Shevet Haresh Al Geir Tzdikim La Man Leish Luchot Tzdikim Avlosa Yedeyem. Hetiva Adinei Latevim Vilishardim Billy Base. Mat Makakalisam Yelichim Adinei Espile Avin Shalom Al Yisrael. Chi Adinei Numerein Rabbeinu Melech Moshiach Leilam Vaed.
A jeder Rieden wie Kotten wie hat Gordel. Wie bald a Kola Kisi. Und sie gekommen der höchste Zeit, als Moshiach kommt, beregige Membre. Und das, was Rachmon al-Islam nicht gekommen, die Rege, Allahs kamen, wir kamen nicht, a Rege lief nicht. Wie kann Yeshiva darf man haben, den meisten Echad, aber die Burechad, oder Machshov Achas, wo das kann getan werden durch Hakotten, Shebi Israel, is a meiste Kotten, Alpitere, is a Steife Smokim, und macht dem ganzen Sture. Wo der Vater siehst, der erste Zeit, als jeder soll trachten wegen der Gila, Amisis, was Schleim, Aledei, Moshiach Chidon. Wo der meiste Ruhe Ike, nicht Chas verschollen, geht es sein mit den Trachten, nur soll reden in dem. Befragt noch a Blawoche, redet man in dem, jeder Tag und dreimal a Tag in der Broche, es zämmer David Abzuchus hat Zmiach. Und noch mehr in der Heeres hat Zmiach. Zwischen ein Tfile mit der zweiten Tfile, mit der dritten Tfile, ist da kam Schois bin Taim. Sagt man auf der Versichte, ist die Zeit und die Chadoshim und die Wochen und die Tag und die Schois, was jeder Ried Anoshim, Venoshim, Vitav, darf tonnen in Jone Giula und reden in Jone Giula und trachten in Jone Agula. Und was sichert der Achonel Azeva, das ist die Mesa Mashiach, in welchem gefindt sich Itzter und Bepashtus und gefindt sich kime Super und mit Duber Basale, den sieht der Reine durch dem lernenden Schwert in a Leifmaschin, Kola Kissen Mizman Rav. Und schnege da Allah Chonis leze und na viele die Knäpplach und mit Duber kam Pomim und wir darf mehr nicht wie öffnen der Egen wird nicht gleich der sein als sie schein dort der Ingen Hagiula bis die Gula Hamitis war schlimmer wir darf mehr nicht wie öffnen der Egen wird der sein der Basese seinen do Echid mit Pashtus und wir gefinden sich schön binnen.
Mayor Techtel, Yeshiva of Scottsdale, Arizona. Elimelech Polachenko, Mesivta Lubavitch of Baltimore. Nisin Nemenov, Yeshiva's Temche Tmimim, Lubavitch, Bernois. Moshe Lapidus, Mesivta Chabad Lubavitch, Buenos Aires. David Altine, Yeshivas Lubavitch, Cincinnati. Daniel Mendelson, Mesivta of Coral Springs. Itamar Wolf, Mesivta Chabad Dnipro. Noyach Guzman, Anchi Lubavitch of Firlon. Shalom Ber Gordon, Yeshivas Temche Temimim, Hungary. Menachem Mendel HaKohen Cohen, Yeshivas Lubavitch, Manchester. Penny Shochat, Mesivta Lubavitch, Miami. Gabi Techtel, Lubavitch Mesivta of Muncie. Moshe Chaim Dahan, Temche Temimim of Naperville. Menachem Mendel Kievman, New Haven, Mesivta. Usher Siegel, Ache Temimim, Pittsburgh. Schneer Zalman Vigler, Yeshivas Temche Temimim, Mayan Torah, Pomona. Chaim Shmuel Schimmel, Beis Shalom, Postville. Sadia Moshe Kohen Bell, Yeshivas Temche Temimim, Lubavitch, Suffolk, Connecticut. Yitzchak Shlomo Shalom Engel, Mesivta Lubavitch, Toronto. Menachem Mendel Horowitz, Mesivta Menachem, Westchester. And Mendel Rabashkin, Yeshivas Temche Temimim, Queens.
Tairat Mimim. As our dear Chaverim find their place on the podium, I would like to congratulate each and every one of the yeshivas participating, 36 Tmimim yeshivas. We want to welcome from North America the Lubavitch Mesivta of Scottsdale, Arizona. The Mesivta of Lubavitch, Baltimore, Chayvevei Torah. Yeshiva of Coral Springs, Yeshivas Lubavitch, Cincinnati, Mesivta of Suffield, Connecticut, Darkei Menachem, Mesivta of Kingston, Yeshivas Orel Chanan Chabad, Los Angeles, Mesivta Lubavitch of Muncie, Ateres Menachem, Montreal, LEC, Miami, Or Menachem, Naperville, Yeshivas Beis David Shlomo, New Haven, Ale Torah, Ache Tmimim, Pittsburgh, Chayole Beis David, Poconos, Mayan Torah, Pomona, Beis Shalom of Postville, Yeshivas Toimche Tmimim, Queens, Tag Academy, Mesivta Lubavitch, Toronto, Or Tmimim, Toronto, Beis Menachem, Wilkes-Barre, Mesivta Menachem of Westchester. Now yeshivas that are international have traveled all the way to join us here. Yeshivas Toimche Tmimim Lubavitch, Antwerp, Belgium. Yeshivas Lubavitch in Argentina. Yeshiva Ktana Brenois, France. Yeshiva Lubavitch, Yeshiva Ktana of London, England. Mesivta Lubavitch of Hungary. Ole Yosef Yitzchak of Manchester, England. Mechina Levi Yitzchak of Melbourne, Australia. YC Melbourne, Australia. Mesivta Lubavitch of Moscow, Russia. Yeshiva Ktana of Dnieper in Ukraine. Chabad Mesivta of Vienna, Austria. Let's put our hands together for all these yeshivas. I want to share with you now is the appropriate time to show your support for the Tmimim on the stage. Once we start the questions, I know how excited it can be, but at the end of the day, they want to focus and get the right answer and retrieve all the vast information they've committed to memory and haravid, toiled in limud Torah, and etched in their heads. Okay, we have two super important announcements. Listen closely. The first announcement are a set of rules that pertain to all those to my right and to my left and above me, all the contestants that have made it on this stage, the finalists. You have 15 papers. Each one is numbered on the bottom. That number corresponds to the question that I'm going to ask you. That means page 1 are the multiple choice 4 options for question number 1, which I will ask you. The 4 options on page 2 correspond to question 2 that I'm going to be asking. Please, after each question, you will obviously write your name on top. You pass the papers on. Only after all the papers are given, I will move on. Now, a super important message for the crowd that we are joined with. First of all, let's take a moment and let it sink in. Those that are with us over here in person already have witnessed this miracle. Those that are together with us online, let it sink in. We have 400 Tmimim here. We have you've listened to the Rishima, the list of yeshivas we have mentioned. That is an entire yeshiva in a far-flung corner of the earth, which is dedicated to the Rebbe's Masas Chayav, and have toiled and invested in connecting, as the Alter Rebbe explains in Tanya, their moichin should become le'achadim mamash, not only with Torah bechlal, but malchus shebekaser, the malchus shebetiferes, the crown jewel, the goal of the creation the Eibishter created the world with, is bringing the Shechina down here lamata through, as the Rebbe says, derech yeshara kalo mehira. And through these 400 Bachrim that find ourselves in this room together, they have paved the way for Klal Yisrael. We are forever indebted to each and every one of you for paving the Derech Yeshara Kalo Mehira. So again, I know we did it before, but give it up for yourself. Each and every one of you, Am Yisrael has been dependent on you, and you are helping us with the final stretch and make it happen. Turning back to the crowd and to those joining us online, very, very important. This year, there is a special novelty, something that a system that has not existed in previous years. Listen closely. Every question, once I read forth the question, you're going to see on the screen the same 4 options that our contestants have, the finalists have. You will have either a QR code for those online that have smartphones. Those that are with us, obviously, Tmimim don't touch it, and they have regular phones, normal phones. Those normal phones, you have a text number that you can text to. You see it right now on the screen. You can vote live. First, put in your name, obviously, because otherwise you won't be able to be in the raffle. If you get 9 correct answers, you will be entered in its own raffle of $360 in Sassaver Sfarim store for a set of Sfarim of your choice. Please take down the number. Tmimim, now's your time to join the global Chidon Tavshem Peivav. You are all part of it, and it's a chazara for all of you. Please be sure to text your name first. Otherwise, even if you get 9 correct answers, we won't know how to put you into the raffle. I'm going to explain and those online can also, and please join us. You can take your phone out and scan the QR code. We have with us contestants that understand Hebrew with us. דבר ראשון, הודעה עליכם. יש לפניכם 15 דפים. כל דף יש לו מספר למטה. זה המספר שאלה שאני הולך לשאול. ברגע שנשאלת השאלה, עליכם לבחור במבחן האמריקאי את התשובה של דעתכם היא הנכונה. ברגע שבחרתם, תמסרו את הדפים, ורק אחרי שהדפים אספו אותם, נוכל להתקדם לשאלה הבאה. בנוגע לאלו שמשתתפים איתנו מרחוק, דרך הלייב סקרין, הלייב סטרים, בכל מקום שהם. נקודה חשובה, אתם יכולים גם להשתתף וצריכים גם להשתתף בחידון הזה. תיקחו את המספר שלפניכם בטקסט או ב-QR code ותשלחו את השם שלכם. על כל שאלה תינתן גם לכם אפשרות לענות נכונות על השאלה. אם תענו נכון, על 9 שאלות תיכנסו בסוף האירוע, בסוף המפגן הענק הזה, תיכנסו להגרלה על $360 בחנות ספרים סוסובר. And now, are we ready? Please pull out page number 1. Judges, are we ready? And the first question is, halachically speaking, what is the geder of Yemois HaMashiach? In Hebrew, ma'u hageder shel Yemot HaMashiach bahalacha, mibchina hilchatit? Is it that there's a tkufa of schar for the avoida throughout Zman HaGolos? Is it that the tkufa that's going to be shalom and shalva in the world? Is it the fact that it's a tkufa that they'll be able to become all the mitzvahs? Is it the third according to the Rambam and the second according to the Ravid? In text, for those online or over here with us, you can only choose 1, 2, 3, and 4. Text the exact number. Once you've answered, they will collect the papers. And the correct answer, halachically speaking, Yemais HaMashiach is the tkufa in which they will be able to fulfill all the mitzvahs b'shleimus. The correct answer was number 3. Moving right on. Thank you. Moving right on to question 2. Are we ready? Question 2. What is the reasoning behind the medrash that states that kol ha-Torah she'adam lamad ba'olam hazeh, it's hevel lifnei Torah she'ba'olam haba? Ma'u hasiba atam ledivrei ha-medrash shekatuv bo shekol ha-Torah she'adam lamad b'meshech ha'olam hazeh ze hevel, it's like nothing lifnei Torah she'ba'olam haba. Again, what is the reasoning for the medrash that the Torah we learned today is hevel, is like not, in comparison to the Torah of Olam Haba? And 1. And the correct answer. The reason why the Torah a person learns ba'olam hazeh is hevel, in comparison to the Torah of Olam Haba and Yemais HaMashiach, is due to the fact that throughout Zman HaGolos we forget. The correct answer was number 1. And the next question, moving on to question number 3. Please list in the correct order the 4 galuyos that Am Yisrael was goyla, was exiled following Galus Mitzrayim. Na lichtov et arbata galuyot shebnei Yisrael galu lacharei galut Mitzrayim beseder hanachon. Please choose 1, 2, 3, or 4. And our time is up. The correct answer has been number 4. Bavel, Modai, Yavon, and then finally our Goloza, Achroin, Edom. I just want to point out to the contestants, the reason the crowd is roaring is when you see on the screen that the box text number 3 has like a full line. It's not that they're showing the correct answer. They're actually showing the answer that got the most hits, and they happen to be pretty accurate. Thank you, all of you, for being part of this Chazara and Limud of Inyani Gul Moshiach. I have to say a mass shear Gul Moshiach with 400 Tmimim. Moving on to question 4. Each one of you should be on page 4. And the question, in which way is Avodas Habirurim applicable to us now? Is it Birur Netzoitzias Klolim, Birur HaNetzoitzas, the way they were broken down to Pratim? Neshamas Klolius, they deal with Neshamas Klolius and Pratius with Pratios, or none of the above because the Avodas Habirurim has been completed. Be'eze ofen avodat habirurim shayach eleinu hayom ka'et. And the correct answer is number 4. Avodas Habirurim, as the Rebbe has stated publicly at a Farbrengen, has been completed. Moving on to question number 5. Please, I feel the excitement. Keep the tones a little lower as the Tmimim here love to focus. Shaila number 5. Hashela Chamishit. What is the definition of mechake lebiyasei, awaiting his coming? Maha pirush. What's the explanation shel mechake lebiyasei? Ma pirush shel hamilim sharambam omer mechake lebiyasei. Is it awaiting that Melech HaMashiach HaBasar V'Dam should come? Is it in addition to that it should happen today? Is it in addition to that he feels he's missing it? Is it in addition to to number 3, that he also has to demand it like a poor man demanding his sustenance? And let's see what all you in the crowd and those joining us virtually have chosen. It really is fascinating to see how much percent of the people are Pashut are right. And the correct answer is answer number 3. The definition of mechake lebiyasei is that he actually physically feels that he's lacking it. And now, moving on to question number 6. Bepoil, can Eliyahu Hanavi come on Friday, on Erev Shabbos, meaning tomorrow, if Chas v'Shalom Moshiach is not yet with us? Bepoal, ha'im Eliyahu Hanavi yuchal lavo be'erev Shabbat, if Chas v'Shalom Moshiach will nicht kommen farden. Is it in all cases yes? Is it across the board no? Is it number 3, in which if it's be'ita yes, or achishana no, or vice versa, number 4? And the correct answer is an unequivocal yes. The true answer was number 1. Moving on to question number 7. She'ela mispar sheva. Where is the Iker Hashras HaShechina? Where is the primary place where the Shechina dwells at this point in the final moments throughout Zman HaGolos? Efo hamakom shebo Ikar Hashrat HaShechina bezman HaGalut. by the Kaisel, by 770, whichever place there are Asara Yisrael, 10 Yidden gathered, or in Bate Knesiyas that are also Bate Midrashas. And the correct answer is number 2. Beis Rabbeinu Shebebavel, Beis Chayenu 770. And moving on to question number 8. Who was born very near the time which was brought in Zoyar, in which the Chachma will be revealed in the world as Achana to the Geula? Who, which personality has been born in close proximity, very close to the time brought in Zoyar, about which Zoyar says that it's going to be Nizgala Chachma in the world Kachana Legula. Now in Lashon HaKodesh. Mi nolad samuch lazman shemuva bezoyar sheitgale az chochma ba'olam ke'achana legeula. If you would like to see the question, you can always see it on the board. If you want it repeated. Was it the Maral, the Arizal, the Baal Shem Tov, or the Alter Rebbe? And the correct answer has been number 4, the Alter Rebbe. Give it up for yourselves. Question number 9. In schus, in which merit, in which schus were our parents redeemed from Mitzrayim? Be'eze schut nigalu avoteinu migalut Mitzrayim. Was it in the schus of their emunah, their belief, their tzipiyah, their awaiting, in schus of nashim tzitkaniyos, or in schus of the fact they adhered to the levushim leishinu es leshoinam or levusham? And the correct answer was number 1, the Emunah in Bias HaMashiach. Moving on to question number 10. When the Navi says the following pasuk, Ha'odoin asher atem mevakshim, who is this referring to? Kishek HaNavi omer, Ha'odoin asher atem mevakshim, lemi ze mityaches. When it says the master who you are awaiting, is this referring to Eliyahu Navi, to David HaMelech, to Melech HaMashiach, or to the Eivishter himself? And the correct answer was none other than number 3, to Melech HaMashiach himself. And moving on to question 11. How did Chachmei Yisrael in the days of Rabbi Akiva know that Ben Kuziba is not Mashiach? Ma gila lechachmei Yisrael echem ivinu sheben Kuziba eino Mashiach? Was it the fact that he wasn't from the descendants of David or Shlomo? Was it the fact that he was not Moirach V'doin, he could not paskin based on smell? Was it the fact that he had not gathered Nidchei Yisrael, he had not gathered the far-flung Yidden? Or was it due to the fact that he died? And the correct answer to question number 11 is number 2, due to the fact, as the Gemara says, he was not Moirach V'doin. Moving on to question number 12. How much metal did David HaMelech prepare for the building of the Beis HaMikdash through Shlomo HaMelech? Kama barzel ichin David HaMelech labet HaMikdash? Was it 100 kikar? Was it 1,000 kikar? Was it 10,000 or was it 100,000 kikar of metals? Iron. Question number 13. In which manner, in which way? Oh, sorry about that. The correct answer was 100,000 kikar. The true answer was number 4. How can we forget our wonderful crowd? Okay, question number 13. And before I say question number 13, I want to say it is really phenomenal that you're able to participate, because I have personally witnessed how many boys, how many tmimim were so close to being on stage that are with us here to exercise that knowledge, that Yediyas HaTorah Befrat in this Inyan is amazing. Thank you for our let's put our hands together for Levi Teitelbaum and Chaim Pekarsky and all the tmimim that actually made step by step this program tick. They're just usually backstage, humble people. Okay, question number 13. In which style and which manner will the nations, the Umas Olam, bring the Yidden to Moshiach? When the nations of Umot Olam rotzim lavi et Am Yisrael livgosh et Mashiach, be'ezet tzura hem yaviu oto? Will they bring them on their shoulders, on behemoths, in ships, or all the answers are correct? Be'eze ofen Umot Olam yaviu et hayudim kematana l'Mashiach? And the correct answer has been none other than number 4. In all the methods we listed, Sai on their shoulders, Sai on behemoths, and with boats, they will bring Yidden as a gift to Moshiach. And moving on to question number 14. Question number 14. Now let's give them time to focus. Who will be serving Avodas Halavim in the future Lasid Lavoy? Mi yavod et avodat haLeviim latid lavo. Who's going to do their work? Will it be Koyanim of today's present time? Will it be the Leviim of today will do the Avodah of Leviim then? Will it be the Bechoirim? Or is it between number 2 and number 3, the Bechoirim and the Leviim? Mi yaseh yivatzeh et avodat haLeviim latid lavo. And the correct answer is number 4. The Leviim of today, together with the Bechoirim, will serve the Avodah of the Leviim today's day. And the final question for round 1. When will be the Yemei HaMiluyim in the coming Geula? Matai yiyu Yemei HaMiluyim LaBet HaMikdash? Will it be number 1, Rosh Chodesh Nisan throughout Rosh Hashanah, Rosh Chodesh Nisan throughout Sukkot, Pesach to Rosh Hashanah, Pesach through Sukkot? When will the Yemei HaMiluyim be? And the answer to question number 15 is none other than answer number 2 from Rosh Chodesh Nisan throughout Sukkot. Please pick up, to all the finalists, please pick. please, all the contestants, finalists, stay in your place and focus forward for the picture of all those that have made it on stage. Let's come a little together, come closer in. Bring a little closer in. And let's give our hands together and give it up for the finalists of the first round, Tav Shin Pei Vav. I would like to take one moment to acknowledge the presence and the contestant on the stage, which is making history. His name is Noam, a representative from a C-Team chapter, the first ever, which has went through the entire booklet in English and committed it to memory, and actually is in line with each and every one of the other Tmimim on the stage. Very, very, very special, and we're hoping to take that inspiration forward to many more chapters. Let's hear it. Noam!
That over there is me. You and I are about to see the moment that will change the world as we know it forever. Wait, not him. That over there is me. You and I are about to see the moment that will change the world as we know it forever. Wait, not him, the guy behind him. The sikh I have in front of me is the famous Chaf Ches Nisan Tav Shin and Aleph. You can see it from the way my eyes focus more closely on the sefer in front of me that I have turned my thoughts inwards. However, when I reach for my cookie, which is no longer there, I lose my train of thought for a moment, settling for the last few drops of my now warm Dr. Pepper. It hits me that this is not the first time I've heard about the Rebbe's call to action.
Chaim Bachrim, Chaim Tmimim. The Rebbe says in a Farbrengen, that we can learn a major kairah from nuclear reactions. What's a nuclear reaction? A tiny action can make a major reaction on an incomparable level, which releases incredible amount of energy, which has the power to change the entire world. One yid doing one mitzvah, even without fully understanding it, releases vast amount of ruchnistic energy, which changes the world literally. The Rebbe has given the privilege and responsibility for each and every one of you to actively bring Moshiach now. Wake up, you dead.
It suddenly occurred to me that I hadn't ever taken this mission seriously enough. I hadn't done everything I could, and I was going to have to change that. I'm starting to realize that waiting for Moshiach to come, even asking and begging for it, it's not enough. The Rebbe gave us the responsibility to do everything we can but play.
Exactly, spot on. That's the Nakuda.
I got it from the ring.
Baruch Hashem, it's good you heard the word, took it to heart. I think what you should do now, going forward, take one thing, find something to do in order to bring Mashiach. Do something. Like the Rebbe says, totals. And nothing's too big and nothing's too small. You can add about your laundry issue. When I was a Bacher Tech in Benoit, like 10 years ago, I used to
Thus started my search for what it was I had to do to bring Moshiach. My first idea was to do a scaffold. That was definitely something I hadn't focused on before. At first, it went quite well. For a while, the snack and the one meal that I did have was enough to keep me going. I was getting so much more learning done and able to keep the momentum going without interrupting for every meal. However, after about a day and a half of this, things really started to go downhill. Food kept creeping into my mind, making it difficult to focus with the same level of concentration as before. After about 2 days, even while I learned, all I could do was think about food. And that is what it looked like after skipping 6 meals in 3 days. Next, I stopped sleeping. If I couldn't use the meal times to learn, then at least I would use the night. For almost 3 days, I spent every second of the night learning. Well, I tried to at least. Okay, I'm not proud of this next one, but I convinced myself that perhaps the sports were getting in the way of people's focus on bringing Moshiach. I started to realize I still wasn't focused enough. So I brought everything I would need to survive multiple days alone with my thoughts. My hat, jacket, filling, and enough food for an army. A set of liquid toilet paper, shampoo, a toothbrush, pens, a notebook, spare pens, more food, red string, push pins. Wait, did I forget my tefillin? Seltzer, soda, coffee, milk, a mini fridge. A new table, a whiteboard, dry erase markers, an eraser, tape, and a do not disturb sign. Finally, I was ready. For as long as it would take, I had one purpose, one goal, one objective. I was not going to leave this room until I had the answer to what it was I needed to do to bring Moshiach. For the first few days, I learned to daven and plan. Up to this point, all seemed to be going quite well. I mean, I hadn't come up with any spectacular ideas yet, but that was just a matter of time, right? However, as the next days passed, I started to get more anxious about my seemingly fruitless efforts. It probably didn't help that my diet was about as balanced as a guy davening Shemana Esrei on Rosh Hashanah night in the middle of the washing machine. I was getting increasingly frustrated with myself. I felt like I was personally letting the Rebbe down. In between davening and learning, I would focus all my energy on coming up with my big idea. And soon, I had one. It was simple, really. I would get a bunch of red cows and wait for them to produce an entirely red heifer. Hey! Wait! You don't want to be part of something bigger than yourself? That's when I realized that it would take a lot more money than I had. Because cows are expensive. Plus, where would I keep them? However, this did give me a different idea. If I could find the Yasan and the Sharabar and set up the Su'udah, Moshiach would have to come so that all generations of Jews can join. After I had a solid outline for my plan, I decided to tackle the hardest part first to get the biggest obstacle out of the way. Since there's more water for the Yasan than land for the Sharabar, this meant I was going scuba diving. Unfortunately, I had to go back to the drawing board after a few too many close calls with sharks and other sea fish. I kept coming up with ideas, and when they kept failing, I would return to the room until I had enough. And this continued, with failed attempts to find Moshiach's donkey, the second horn from the Isle of Kiddush Yitzchak, and many more ideas. Finally, after all that time and all the failed plans, that was it. That was my last idea. I decided that I needed to stay in the room and focus only on learning and davening. If nothing else, maybe I could have a Gil Elio. The plan here was to have Elio set up a meeting with Moshiach, where I would convince him that we had already spread the mayonnaise of the Baal Shem Tov Chutzah. In frustration, I thought back to that Farbrengen had been a part of this at the start. Unless, what if I did something drastic? What if I do something unique? Something that no one had ever thought of before? Something that's going to end this gullus once and for all? Nothing that I'd done until now had been enough. I needed to do something bigger. Something no one else had ever done. Though I was quite sleep deprived and really hungry, I had come up with the perfect plan. The Rebbe asked that I do all that I can, and I have found a way to deliver. Here it comes, my grand idea. As long as the world can still be improved, Gullus might continue in order to allow that. But what if the world reached the point where continuing with purpose was impossible? What if there was no longer any way for anything more to be accomplished? While I may not have been a nuclear physicist, I knew that a single nuclear bomb fired into the volcano all the way to Earth's core would be enough to end the world. Now, some would call the end of the world a bad thing. I, however, had thought this through. Also, isn't Mashiach referred to as Achar Yamim, the end of days? If this bomb landed, then there would be nothing left to make a Dir Ben Chetayim. And there was no way that Hashem was going to let that stick. So all I had to do was launch a nuke into a volcano in Hawaii. Then Hashem would have no choice but to bring Mashiach. This is brilliant. I couldn't believe no one had thought of this yet. This was the best idea since Yerichai. This was the best idea since the Migdal Bavel. This was the best idea since the Mabel. Right away, I got to work. First, I called up all of my Makravim to see if any of them knew how I could get a nuclear bomb. They were less than helpful. I don't think they took me seriously. Next, I asked my Charusa, who has a brother who's a shliach in Washington. And one of the Makravim at his Chabad house works in the government. Unfortunately, he said that he didn't exactly have a pile of nukes in the corner of his office. Which makes sense, I guess. If nukes were piled in corners like that, the radiation would probably heat up any cold foods that you want to eat. Even considered buying one with my Hanukkah gum. But I couldn't find any on Amazon. Eventually, I realized that I would have no choice but to infiltrate a nuclear silo. It shouldn't be too hard. Once I got inside, I could use my considerable charm to talk my way past the guards and into the patrol. Now, I knew that they had safety precautions to stop people from just launching nukes whenever they liked. They needed 2 people to turn 2 keys on opposite sides of the room at once. Luckily, they didn't count on me having a black bundle in martial arts. And after enough practice, I was ready.
Well, I realized my whiteboard was missing and... Oh no!
I'm so sorry. But we've waited 2,000 years and we've done everything we can, and Mashiach still didn't come. You said that there's nothing too big, so I thought of a bunch of stuff that no one's ever done before, and I tried them. And I thought this would be a definite way to force Mashiach to come.
Well, I also didn't say nothing too small. The Rambam says the world's like a scale. Every mitzvah we do could tip the scale and bring Mashiach to the world. That's also what I meant when I said that every mitzvah you do makes a nuclear reaction. I admire your ambitions, but you have to channel that energy into more realistic, constructive actions.
What can I do? What can I do to finally finish the task that I've been trusting me?
Well, it's actually very close to what you've been doing, but completely different. Instead of taking everything in your life and canceling it for Mashiach, make everything you do a part of Mashiach.
This made a lot more sense than some of my other ideas. My Mashpia explained to me that the Rebbe told us that through using the Shire of Kabbalah's Bnei Mashiach, I could vitalize all other parts of my Avodah in an unprecedented manner. He advised that I find one way to focus on this. And I found that learning in Yanei Gulul Mashiach with the Moshiach Chidon really helped me live this way. From now on, instead of skipping meals entirely or not sleeping for almost 3 days straight, I make sure to eat and sleep healthily with the goal of having a healthy mind, body, and neshama to bring Moshiach. Instead of ruining sports, I use sports to improve my relationships, interacting with everyone with a deeper understanding. Instead of trying to find various items related to Moshiach, I started to relate to the Elikos in all the items in my daily life. And instead of breaking the world with nuclear force, I set the world alight with the light of Moshiach. And that was the moment that changed the world as we knew it forever.
And the moment we have been waiting for. I would like to call to the podium 8 contestants which have received less than 1 or 2 questions that they were able to have leeway with. The top 8 Bachrim. Not only in this room, the top 8 Bachrim in Lubavitch. From Cincinnati, Hatamim David Oltine. From Manchester, England, Hatamim Menachem Cohen. From Muncie Yeshiva, Gabi Teichtel. From Ale Torah, Shmuel Marazov. From Pomona, Schneier Vigler. From Suffield, Sadia Bell. From Toronto, Yitzchak Engel. And from Westchester, Menachem Horowitz. Let's give it up for them. The next stage in the Chidon Moshiach is going to be led by our esteemed judges. I would like to take a moment and introduce, we have together with us Rabbi Shlomo Majeski, the Dean of Machon Liyahados and a Mashpia to multitudes, many, many mishpachas in Crown Heights. We have together with us Rabbi Mendy Blau, the Rosh Moisid of our host of Yeshivas Ale Torah. And we have together with us Rabbi Shalom Zirkin, the brain behind this entire Chidon Moshiach, together with many other projects in Halacha and Crown Heights. The first round, this is for each one of us over here on stage. Pick up your hand if you only speak Lashon HaKodesh. I mean, if you only speak... Anyone here? Okay, so it's just in Hebrew, just in English. Okay. So the way it's going to work is the following. The first round is going to be a crossfire. The one directing, going to give you to say the questions, going to ask the questions, Rabbi Majeski. The style of the questions are going to be much shorter, and therefore you're going to be graded based on speed, obviously accuracy, and clarity. But you're only going to have 15 seconds to deliver your response. The second round of questions is going to be led by Rabbi Blau, which are more complex questions, will take longer answers. Hence, you will have 30 seconds to give your response. Important to note, again, you're graded based on the speed, clarity, and accuracy of your answer. It's not yes or no, and therefore I'm pretty sure all the answers are going to be right, but it's on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 6 based on how good you are in these areas. So it's worth all our time to listen closely to each and every word that comes out of these very special women's mouths. And without further ado, Rabbi Majeski. Please make sure to speak into the mic when you're asked a question.
Okay. The first question.
They should say each question is not just a yes or no answer. There could be a few details. Think whatever you know that's relevant to the question and answer.
The first question to David Oltein. What is the explanation of what it says in Gemara? Ami yesh lanu lishoin al Avinu shebashamayim.
The simple explanation is that we're so low, we only can rely on our Father in heaven. No, through relying on our Father in heaven, that's the source that we're going to be Moshiach. Figure explains that we're showing how low we're on goes, that the only thing we rely on is on the Eibishter. And that we're not doing anything ourselves.
Second question is going to Menachem Cohen, and the question is, how is Hashem allowed to destroy the Beis Hamikdash?
The problem of Baal Tashchis is solved by the fact that it was Kalach HaMasei, so it was really a tikkun, and the fact that you're not allowed to destroy Hekdesh is the fact that it was a tikkun in the binyan itself. That was to make a third Beis Hamikdash was a lot better.
The third question is going to Gabi Teichtel. And the question is, what is the significance of iron? What does it signify?
Iron.
Iron, metal, barzel.
That it's something that is used for death. That's why in the first two Beis Hamikdash we weren't able to use it. But in the third Beis Hamikdash, you're able to use it because all bad is not. There's no more bad in times of Mashiach.
The fourth question. The fourth question is going to Shmuel Marozov, and the question is, why will the Beis Hamikdash first be revealed in 770?
There's two reasons. First reason is because that was the ikar of the Gilui of these days, and the second reason is because from there we actually flipped over the whole world for Mashiach.
The next question is for Schneier Wigler. What and who did Avram save, and why did he save them?
So Avram saved Lot because he saw that through his two daughters, which had Edom and Bnyamin, Mashiach's going to come from the mother of Avram and the wife of Shlomo, and he also saved Stem and Amir because at the end of the day when Mashiach comes, Stem and Amir is going to be returned to Yidden and is going to be brought back, and we're going to have it.
The next question. Next question is to Sadia Bell. What is the connection between the discovery of natural sciences and the Geula?
There's
two things. The first thing is that we're able to see Mishalim in the discoveries that are happening. The Mashal camera, we're able to see the fact that the Eibishter sees throughout the whole world. And also the fact that the Chacham Sa'edim itself is going to occur, the Ein Mavade, as Hachana to the Gula.
The next question. The next question is for Yitzchak Engel. Will the Kehanim and the Mizbeach need Mashiach l'asad lavai, and why?
According to the Midrash, yes, because it says Zeus Mishchas, Zeus Chanukas. According to the Ramban, no, and brings a lot of proofs.
The next question is to Menachem Horowitz. What is the time that there's a Havamina that Elia Navi cannot come then, and why?
Erev Shabbos and every Yom Tov Pnei Tircha, and Shabbos because Tchum. But Peo, you can come both.
Okay. We're going to continue. We're going to continue, and I want to remind again that these questions have a little bit more details, and therefore in the time limit, you have 30 seconds. Please answer as complete of an answer that you know, as clear and as accurate. David Altein. What is the inyan of Adira, and what does it mean for us? How does it express itself in the idea of that we're making Adira LaHakadosh Baruch Hu?
Adira is a place where someone expresses himself in all aspects. He's comfortable in every detail of the house. So Mela, to make a Dira for Tachtainim, we need to have a Dira for every part of the world should be uplifted and be a place and for Hashem's resting.
Menachem Cohen. In general terms, what is not the details, but bechlalos, what is going to be the matziv in the time of Ikvisa de Meshicha, and why does the Torah notify and inform us of this?
In two places in the book, it says different things. There's one place it says that it's going to be a very hard time every day. That it's going to go worse and worse and worse. And the reason why Torah is telling us this is because that we shouldn't give up and we should do it. You know, it's in our ability in Kadosh Baruch Hu Babatunya and Briyesav to change it and bring Mashiach. Another place it says that some places it says that it's going to be good and some places it says it's going to be bad. And the Rebbe says that the more the Cheshech is Miskaber, it shows that the Gila is greater.
Gabi Tachtel.
My cousin's his brother.
Can you say, in a complete sentence, yet short, what is the story of Nachum Ish Gamzu, and what connection does it have about the Geula?
He went to go bring a present to the king, and he's bringing like a very nice thing, and then when he brought it, there was dirt, and he got very worried, and he didn't know what happened, and then at the end, they realized that the dirt turned into weapons, and this shows that it shows how it's double comfort, how something could be bad, and you could get back, but it's still not. You still feel the pain of the old, but this is double comfort where the bad itself was good. It was good. The whole thing was all good. I hope that was the right guy, right?
Shmuel Merazov. Shmuel, can you elaborate what is the explanation, how does the Rebbe explain, why is Golos extending so long?
Saying why is the Rebbe explain? Why is the Rebbe?
Whatever you read in the book.
So the goal is extending very long. First of all, is the whole year of the Alter Rebbe that there's right right there's right it says Meser Pak basically was Yada Yasa right Ruach Kafes it went down and Kol Yikin Meis Dargo and but the verse is that by Moshiach when over there but in Mitzrayim it was Rav right we did Rav and there was Erev Rav and so now there's already paid up. Why it took so long? So the verses by Mitzrayim, they were in the Shabbat Kolius. It was not, so that's why we were very, very fast. But now
Okay, Shmuel, I'm going to cut you off just on the time limit. But okay, Shmuel, finish.
But now they're Proteus that now it was Mechalik, and now everyone has to be their Proteus again.
Okay, Schneier Wigler. Who is the first person that spoke or tells us about Eliyahu, about the idea of Eliyahu coming, and why was Eliyahu chosen for this role?
Who was the first person to speak about Eliyahu? I know that in the Torah basically says that because Pinchas is Zimri, Pinchas is Eliyahu, and because he killed Zimri, therefore he's going to be Zeicha, that he's going to be the one to go and go into the thing. So that's when we know it from the Torah, technically speaking, that since Pinchas is Eliyahu, so he's going to be the one who's going to be Zeicha to redeem the Yidden from the Gullus.
Sadia Bell. What is going to be the size of the Beis Hamikdash HaShlishi, and how does that match with the?
How is that going to happen?
How is it going to happen, and reconcile it with the regular dimensions?
It's going to be bigger than the first Beis Hamikdash and the second Beis Hamikdash in Zman and Makim, because this is the gather of the world. The gather of the world is in.
So what's the size? Don't tell me the size and how it's going to become so big. What did
It's going
you
to be the size of the whole Yerushalayim, because all the shows from all over are going to connect to the Beis Hamikdash, and it's going to make the whole Beis Hamikdash into the size of the whole Yerushalayim. And the level in Kedusha, whichever show is more halik, that show is going to go mamish closer to the Beis Hamikdash. And the Rebbe Shlita Melech Moshiach says that 770 is going to be mamish right near, connected to the Beis Hamikdash.
Yitzchak Engel. In general terms, not in bechlalos, not in a specific space. Where is Mashiach in the time of Galus, and why?
Mashiach is there during the time of Galus. He's alive because he has to take the Yidden out of Galus right away, and he's also giving the Yidden the Karach to go out of Galus.
Where is he? Is he in the place of
Bavel, 770?
Why does he have to be there?
That way Mashiach, that way he'll be able to take the Yidden out from there.
Menachem Horowitz. What is the Maila?
What? No. He's going to have. They have it on the screen. They don't want you to.
Okay. Menachem, what is compared to Alois HaShachar, and how is that going to be Bipoil?
The Geula says that if it comes Be'ita, it's going to be slowly, just like Alois HaShachar. But Bipoil, it's not going to be Be'ita, it's going to be Achishana because we're there Zachu. And we also mentioned Alois HaShachar another time that the Cheshech of Ikus and Moshicha is like the Cheshech right before Alois HaShachar, which there's Sai the Geula and Sai the Cheshech Mechupu.
Hayr Tmimim. We have reached a very special stage in this evening in which 40 Tmimim will be celebrated with the special smicha event that Rabbi Blau is going to announce. We have this cycle of the Moshiach Chidon is a track of 3 years. We have with us Tmimim that have not only completed this book, the 3 booklets of this year, the 3 books of this year, they have completed 3 consecutive years and will be receiving a special certificate celebrating 3 years and the entire curriculum of Inyoni Gul Moshiach, Niglech, Sidis, Sichis, Farbrengens, and so on. Please, Rabbi Blau.
Mendel Yarmush, please come up. Shmaryo Hakoyim Bronstein. David Altine. Yehuda Feller. Mendel Zwiebel. Yaakov David Svasmin. Mendel Bakshi. Shalom Leib Alevi Würzburg. Chaim Shalom Segel. Avram Heiningsfeld. Yosef Yitzchak Liani. Yisrael Meir Namdar. Menachem Mendel Akoyin Ruddle. Yaakov Dov Danzinger. Schneier Griezmann. Mendel Steiner. Rafael Feldman. Menachem Mendel Herzl. Hanan Zalmanov. Dovi Levertov. Choni Merazov. I should say Choni M. Menachem Mendel Newman. Itamar Wolf. Moshe Yuzevich. Shalom Sasanko. Mordechai Gopin. Mordechai Rivkin. Yosef Yitzchak Blachman. Menachem Mendel Binyaminson. Nachum Yosef Groner. Menachem Mendel Hakoyin Haffinger. David Horowitz. Chaim Eliezer Hakoyin Hendel. Levi Bush. Mayor Fisher. Menachem Mendel Katz. Eliyahu Yani. Sadia Bell. 1 second, we have one more. Reuven Gavriel Yarmush. Which one are you looking for? Mendel Newman, right over here, Mendel. All the way from the Poconos? Amazing. Yeah, of course. Oh, you have to ask their ring. I remember last. have another certificate here for Menachem Mendel Neumann.
One, two. One. Ah.
Please enjoy the main course. We want to welcome, with special nigunim, none other than Eli Marcus.
Everybody's enjoying the Suda. The schools to sing a few nigunim with you. The ways I sing along, join along. Hashem choleh, ob ich gesehen, im Beis HaMikdash HaShelishi, bin ich gewesen. Koi hanem zene makrib korbo nois. Levim singen shir amalois. Moshe Rabbeinu lern dir vois. Sanhedrin sitzt und hört an den Teure. Ja Haare na kogoboy.
No, in other words, had it.
We know sein a herrlich in Gesicht. Es scheint und sein Tonim mit a göttlichen Licht. Auf sein Kopf a Gol an den Kiroi. Oi ich der kenne Meshoi. Das ist der Melech, Moshiach Chidon. Der ganze Olam steht mit Moire. Ist mit alles so in der Saat Oire. Und von Schlaf hab ich sich aufgehabt. wird schön bald kein Cholem mehr nicht sein. Hab ich noch gelegen, believe Moshiach in Mekabel von ihm sein. Ay, 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 Schicker mit Freude, gesund der Heim. Gehen wir alle aheim, zurück in Cheder gehen, mit dem Moischen allein. Yo, mein Weh, oh, mein, oh, yo, nicht gedeihen wieder, es wird schon bald kein Cholem mehr nicht sein. Aber du gelegen, believe, Moshiach in Mekabel von ihm sein. Oh, yo, ich schicke mit Freude, gesund der Heim. Gehen wir alle aheim, zurück in Cheder gehen, mit dem Moischen allein. Oh, mein, oh, mein. Yashinem Cholem, oh, hab ich gesehen. In Yerushalayim ir HaKodesh bin ich gewesen. Sie sagt mit Freud, Beruch im Abomoyim. Der lebt zu sein dein Lichtig in Ponim. Ich hab gehad so viel Zahar gelubanim. Chotsch du hast gewandert, toi sind der Jobber. Ei bist du mein freier Kind, noch schöner geworden. Du noch seh mal im Gehen, seh viel mit Anig, der war Schäfer allein. Wie jung gekommen neu für der Welt, ach, ob hat in Männer gestellt. Wie seine Liebe Kalle, jeden alle, wo ihm Kaddisch sein. Zadig im Tanzen mit den Chusten. Es ist schon gerät, du das nie Osten. Jung von Schlaf, hab ich sich, wo ich gehabt. No, here we go, ein nicht gedeihen. Es wird schön bald in Cholem mit sein. Hab ich noch gelegen, believe, Moshiach und Mekabel von ihm sein. Oi, 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 Schicker mit Freude, gesund der Heim. Gehen wir alle aheim, zurück in Cheder gehen, mit dem Moischen allein. Oi, oh, mein, oh, mein, oh, nicht gedeihen dir, es wird schön machen, volle Männer sein. Hab ich noch gelegen, believe, Moshiach und Mekabel von ihm sein. Oi, oh, ich schicke mit Freude, gesund der Heim. Gehen wir alle aheim, zurück in Cheder gehen, mit dem Moischen allein. Es wird oh, ich schicke mit Freude, wie alle gesund der Heim. Gehen wir alle aheim, zurück in Cheder gehen, mit dem Moischen allein. Es wird sein, lichtig und schön. Okay, Rabbi, I need you guys to sing along for the next one. It's the evening of Torah, Tefillah, and Tzedakah, I'm assuming. voice I join together. Ani Mamin, Ani Mamin, Ani Mamin. Be'emunah Sheleimo, Be'viyas, Moshiach, Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin, Be'viyas Moshiach, Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin. Let's take it down. Ani Mamin, Be'emunah Sheleimo, Be'viyas, Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin, Be'viyas Moshiach, Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin, Ani Mamin. Be'emunah Sheleimo, Be'viyas, Ani Mamin, Ani Mamin, Ani Mamin. Be'emunah Sheleimo, Ahai Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin, Be'viyas Moshiach, Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin, Be'viyas Moshiach, Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin. One more time, Ani. Be'viyas Moshiach, Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin, Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin, Be'viyas Moshiach, Be'viyas Moshiach, Ani Mamin. One more niggin before we move on to the next part of the program. Lo yehi ratzoi, lo yehi Yehi ratzoy Yehi ratzoy milfonecho Hashem Elohikeinu Ve'Elohikeinu Avo Yiseyenu Sheyibonem Beisamidosh B'meiro v'yomeinu Sein chelkeinu b'soir asecho Sheyibonem Beisamidosh B'meiro v'yomeinu Sein chelkeinu b'soir asecho Sheyibonem Beisamidosh B'meiro v'yomeinu Sein chelkeinu b'soir asecho
And now, before we reach the climax, the final three contestants, finalists, I would like to share with those this is more for those directed for those joining virtually, a little bit about a tamim that makes it on the stage here. It's not about a lot of information, a lot of yediyas HaTorah, Pekiyas in the Rebbe's and Yanim, Pekiyas in Nigla Chassidus that pertains to Gul Moshiach. One of the contestants that came up here on stage was asked by one of them, arguing him a few days before. He asks him, you know, it's about to be the Chidon Moshiach. I know you're going up. Are you ready? He said, I'm not ready for the Chidon Moshiach. I'm ready for Moshiach. You should know that a tamim that fills his moichin with Dvar Hashem, with Chachma Lekis, pertaining to the Eibishter's Ruach Shel Melech HaMashiach, with which he started off creation, Briyas HaOlam. A tamim that is loaded with such information with such Torah is a lebedike mahalach, a lebedike Moshiach. He's walking around living the way it's passed for Atamim. And having said that, I just share a thought that came to mind as this video was playing, the cute video that was put together. You obviously got the theme, he's trying to leave his Galus Pnimi in Avodas Hashem. And Atamim, every union of the Rebbe is Nagiatim. We find ourselves in Shnasa Chamishim from Tavshin Lamed Vav. And the Rebbe gave us boot camp, the Rebbe gave us training of how to get past the Yetzer Hara, which is the one that puts us into this Galus Pnimi. And the Rebbe gave us 12 psukim. And if you look at the video from that lens, the way his approach to Torah, that Torah is mine, Moirasha Kilas Yaakov, he owns it, it's yours. His dedication to Yogaita Matzas Itamin. You tried once, it didn't work, twice it didn't work, it's mine, it's gonna happen. And Kol Yisrael Yeshlam Chelik Laila Mahaba, if others can do it, I'm part of it. And I'm definitely not going to be, as the Rebbe says in the Sikha for Hashem, I'm going to be sitting with the Avos. I'm not going to choose other things to do. Each and every one of the 12 psukim, you have to recognize, a bacher has to recognize that you started off as a child. You were set for this mission. You were built for this mission by the Rebbe, instilling in each one of these tmimim, when they were early on in the Tzivos Hashem, the Yesodis of 12 psukim. You could see on this bacher, and you could see on each one of us. So befrat in this year, I know the bacher has, every tamim has a kachin, everything that's naget to his father. To Abba Kadisha, to the Tata, to the Rebbe, that includes 12 psukim. That includes another very important aspect of this event, that every bacher, this is connected to Ois B'Sefer Torah. We know that this is one of the inyanim that is mezares the geula. Any bacher that accepts upon himself at the table over there, accepts upon himself to take a certain amount of children that he's going to enlist in the Sefer Torah, Haklali Sefer Torah of Yalda Yisrael. There's a list, there's a place for him to fill in all those that he influences. He will be receiving a special packet over here, which includes a part of the mantle of the Sefer Torah, the 10th Sefer Torah, a special likud that was put together specifically for those that take on this initiative with some another cute gashmistic things, a cute pen and some more. So please, Tmimim, take advantage of this opportunity and take on everything that's nagia to the Rebbe's, nagia to his children, to the Tmimim, and to every chassid dear to our hearts. Let's jump in. And now, are we ready? I need the list. I didn't get it. Oh, I have it. No, come here. These three. And we would like to call up to the stage from Taimchet Mimim in Pomona, Schneier Vigler. From Suffield Yeshiva, Sadia Bell. And from Westchester, Menachem Horowitz.
Okay, these questions are more detailed than the questions he had before. Please you're gonna have a minute for each question. Please answer what you know. You don't have to tell me the whole book with every single word in the book, but just describe as concisely as you can all the details that are relevant to the question. Starting with Schneier Wigler, first question is, who is in Golus and in what is his Golus expressed? Again, who is in Golus and how is that person or that entity's Golus expressed?
So there is the Bechlal that Yidden are in Golus, that we're physically in Golus, and there's Golus on Neshama B'Seich HaGuf. There's the Neshama in the Guf that it can't reveal itself. The default should be that all the inyanim of the Neshama, Torah and Mitzvah should be what a person is kaching in, but because of the Golus on Neshama B'Seich HaGuf, there is a person naturally in our Golus is kaching in all the inyanim of a Guf. And in addition, the main thing is that the Eibishter is in Golus, the Shechina is in Golus, Shechinta B'Galusa, and that's expressed in the fact that we don't have a Gilui Elokus. The Ashpa that we get is through Mitzvah Samim, we get it through Mimutayim, we get it through middle things, and it's also expressed in the fact that when a person is doing Avodas Hashem, he feels a chisaron in the Tainug of Avodas Hashem because he doesn't feel that he doesn't feel the closest of the Eibishter. So that's how so it's basically the Eibishter, the Yidden and Bechlal Darga, and also that because of that we don't have an Eichus in Kiyum Torah Mitzvahs, and we're missing the Kamos, and yeah.
Sadi Bell, for which reasons does a Yid anticipate the goal? In other words, what is the causes? What are the things that will make a Yid want Mashiach to come?
Avos HaTorah, Avos Hashem, and Avos Yisrael. The first thing is Avos HaTorah. That if a Yid really truly loves the Torah and he wants to have the Shleimus of Torah mitzvahs, and only completion of Shleimus of Torah mitzvahs is going to be by the Geula. And so if he really wants and believes in and loves the Shleimus of Torah mitzvahs, he's going to want the Geula. And same thing with Avos Hashem. If a Yid really loves the Eibishter, first of all, the Shechinta B'Galusa, and the second prat is that he wants to be Miyachid with the Eibishter, and he's only going to be Miyachid with the Eibishter and fully by the Geula. And if he really loves the Eibishter, he's gonna try to do whatever he can to bring the Geula. And the same idea is with Avos Yisrael. A Yid, we know the Yidden are going through a lot of tzaras through all the generations, and if a Yid really believes in the Geula and he wants the Yidden shouldn't suffer in the time of Golus, he's going to want to bring the Geula so Yidden shouldn't suffer.
Anything else you could add?
Also for the Eibishter, he doesn't want the Shekhinah to be in Golus, which is the Chelik Alikam Ma'al Mamash, which is in him.
Menachem Horowitz, why could Mashiach come even without hearing Eliyahu being Mavasar the Geula the day before?
First of all, if Zachu, then Eliyahu will come with Mashiach. And the Ram says it's unclear for sure when Mashiach will come, if he's going to come before Bias Mashiach or before Gog Magog. And
anything else you could add, explain?
And also, the Eliyahu Navi is it could be that Eliyahu Navi is going to come just to Tveria to the Bezdin, and it could be that Eliyahu Navi comes every single day because the Geula is able to come every day. And
in the Rambam, is there anything more you could add?
And the Rambam says that it's unclear when Mashiach when will come, and we don't know how it's going to happen until it happens.
Okay, Schneier Wigler, how many mitzvahs total are we able to do in the time of Golus? And which general categories of mitzvahs can we not do in the time of Golus? So what is the total? Yeah, go.
So it says that basically the most opinions, there is 271 Reish Ayin Aleph mitzvahs out of 613 that we're able to Mekayim during Golus. The reasons we're not able to Mekayim them are 6. The first one is because we don't have Binyan Beis Mikdash, and that includes that we can't be Mekayim mitzvahs that are like Binyan Mikdash, the Avodah in the Beis Mikdash, and the Koyanim can't be Mekayim their mitzvahs in the Beis Mikdash. And then there's about that we're in Kibbutz Goliath, which that includes that we, Lefi Rov Vadeis, Chala, Turma, and Meisis, and also because of that, there is Shemitah and Yevelis and all those mitzvahs we can't do. The next type is Sanhedrin. That takes away that we can't be Mekayim at most mitzvahs which Sanhedrin needs to do, Iber Chedesh, and then also Iber Chedesh B'Shana, and also like Minu Melech and stuff like that. And because of Ta'ara B'Tomo, that's the fourth reason we can, because we don't have Iver Para, and also we don't have Temus Mikdash Kedosh, to be careful because of that. And then also because of Mitzvahs Tluis B'Melech, and also Mitzvahs Tluis B'Navi, and Mitzvahs Tluis B'Melech include Mitzvahs Hakel, Mitzvahs B'Nei Mikdash, Mitzvahs Minu Melech, and Mitzvahs. Okay, it's over.
Sadia Bell, and in the Geula there will be shleimus of Kiyama mitzvahs also in Eichos, in quality. Please explain what the shleimus is.
It says V'sham Nasek mitzvahs Tznecha, that there's going to be a shleimus in the mitzvahs. What does that mean? That first of all, these days there's not the shleimus of the tafs of a chibur. Why? Because first of all, the yid when you have the kavanah in the mitzvah and the pnimius of the mitzvah, you don't see. Also, there's the fact that the Goyim are going to be able to help us. And also, the mitzvahs are going to be in a way of hiddur, or the most hiddur possible. Also, it's not going to be in Var Birurim because we already finished Avedis of Birurim. It's going to be in a way of going from Aliyah to Kedusha, from thing to thing. And
anything else you could add?
And the Yidin and the Olam, which is the things that we do the mitzvahs with, are going to be the Tachis Hashleimus. And we're not going to have any disturbances from anyone, so we're going to be able to be Mekayim in the best possible way.
Menachem Horowitz, what is the Maila of learning Torah when Mashiach will come?
So this, first of all, it's Torah Chadasha because it's going to be Gilui Pnimis Torah B'Shleimus. And also the Torah itself is going to be B'Shleimus because there's going to be no Shikha and no Koshis Hysteris and we're not going to be under the Umas Olam, so we're going to be able to serve the Eibishter B'Shleimus. It's going to be Avdus Shleimus Avdus. And because there's going to be the Mitzvah Yidiyas Shem is going to be B'Shleimus, which says that means that affects the Shleimus Torah. And one more thing, because there's not going to be any Minus V'Yekuvim, so we're going to be completely free to study Torah, Pneuim, Chachma.
What do you mean by Minus V'Yekuvim?
There's not going to be any problems with Parnassa, and we're not going to have to deal with any other disturbances in the world that disturb us from learning Torah, and we're going to be able to be free to learn Torah completely. B'Shleimus.
Shneur Vigler, which karbanos will we bring when Mashiach will come? Which karbanos will we not bring, and why?
So when Mashiach comes, we will bring. It says that maybe an oila as one-time thing in the first second we might bring, because even though during Galus we're learning the parashas oila, but nevertheless at the end of the day, since when Mashiach comes, there's a maila of a deirin, an actual deirin, and there's a maila of an actual deirin of an actual carbon being brought. Therefore, we will bring it. Also, carbon tamid will be brought because of the four reasons of the four people that needed arba tzich and the we have. The Rebbe explains how we need all reasons, even though we don't need halachically, but still we'll bring a carbon teda, and that's for our carbon teda. For our carbon chatas and asham, we won't bring them because even though Rabbi Shmuel ben Elisha wrote down in his pinkas that he needs to bring a carbon because he was mata the nair, but nevertheless at the end of the day, because we paskin that first of all we don't need to write it, and the Rebbe says that we won't need to bring it. The reason for the fact that we won't need to bring it is because since we don't feel by the time Yisrael ben Elisha, or at least Elisha himself felt the chisaron that he wasn't able to bring the chait, but we don't feel it, and therefore since we don't feel it, we're not able to bring a chatas, and therefore we won't bring it.
Sadia Bell, which in Yonim did the Rebbe tell us to do to be Mazaris the Geula?
First of all, we should have a munah. Second of all, we should have a munah and tzpiyah mitech simcha. Also, we should We should be Mepharsim B'Soros HaGola. We should tell everyone about the Nisim that are happening and the fact that Mashiach is coming to everyone. We should speak about it in every single Keynote with 10 people and not miss the time because we're in such a special time like this. We should learn add in Nigla Torah and Pnimis Torah, and especially with the Kavanah to bring the Geula. Also, we should learn specific things. We should learn finish all Kutei Torah and Torah also Mishnayos, Ein HaGolos, Miskantzes, El B'Chus Mishnayos. Also, Pirkei Avos in the Yemei HaKayetz. Also, Rambam, we should be Mischazik and Ishtatvos in different Kaboros of Rambam, and especially in Hilchas Beis Abchira and the last two program Hilchas Melech HaMashiach. Also, we should obviously show like how it is the Te'ima of the Geula, because we already finished the Sivas HaGolos. We should give tzedakah, especially with the Kavanah to bring the Geula, and Afatzas Hayados. And
Anything else you could add?
Pneumius Torah.
Menachem Horowitz, in which things do we see the beginning of the revelation of the Geula in the world?
There was the Gilui Chochmah and the Gilui of Science, and Pachas Shkotim, and the fall of Russia, and the coming to Eretz and the Incubus Goliath that happened in Bechlal, and the Bir Tzarfas that Francis became inspired, and the Umm Yisrael are doing Chesed, and the Chitzu Charbam that the UN made a peace thing, and there's the Gulf War, and which there was craziness, and the Yalkut Shemoni was Mekuyim, and there's the 6-Day War, which the Rebbe says is the beginning of the Tkiyah B'Shever Gadol, which is a serious tshuva, where we saw that after the 6-Day War, a lot of people had a serious tshuva.
Anything you could add?
And
I like the two fucking rules. I just want to fucking. What? I hope they don't. I hope they finish. Probably the last one.
Very, very close.
I finished the one minute. You never let me finish. I finished a minute every
the
time.
Incubus Goliath, so we see the.
First? I think I got it all right. No, I got it all right. Oh, yeah. What?
Ask questions you don't like. Shut up like a bull.
You got one wrong?
One thing.
The 14 you wrote right? 14 you got right or wrong? Oh, the VM. VM you wrote right or wrong? So, what? So, that one you got.
Oh, and then the Nevuah came back.
Is that it? That's it. Isn't it third place also? Third place is Stan.
Thank you so very much. Let's put our hands together for the top 3 Tmimim, top 3 finalists. I would note and say that you should know these 3 Bachrim, it's not just that they learned Chazard, they were destined to be here. Each one of them is going to be getting a chayfetz of the Rebbe, whether it's $1 or a ksav yad or a stamp. And they do not just end up by someone. The Rebbe's a chayfetz is where it's meant to be. And Meruba made the taiva when the Rebbe discussed by the Svarim that a chayfetz of the Nasi Adar is like a bamba. Imagine Meruba mid the taiva when the Rebbe wants a chayfetz to be by a bacher. It's going to be by these swimmen, and they're accepting it on all of our behalf. Let's put our hands together for the 3 finalists. And now, I would like to introduce and present to you the keynote of this evening, the guest speaker, the Rebbe's Ashliach to Arizona State University, Harav Chassid, Shmuel Teichtel. They actually wrote to me over here that Arizona State University is the biggest university in America. I'm thinking for a Tamim Senageya, thinking the Malach Masach Gemach. But you should know that means he has breite places with a phenomenal, great shlichus and chazaka neman shliach oiseh shlichosai. Without further ado, Rabbi Shmuel Teichtel.
L'chaim Bacharim. I'll never forget that Thursday night when I rushed with my brother to 770. We heard the Rebbe was saying a sikha, Chavches Nissen, Tavshin and Aleph, and we heard the words from the Rebbe, Tut als was ihr kennt. And after the sikha, we were thinking, what does that mean? What can we do? Being here tonight in this room, I see 400 Bacharim who know what they can do. I have to say, sitting here with you here, I feel truly katanti. I'm humbled to be in the presence of Bacharim who have given days and nights to learn in Yanagul Mashiach. It's well known that in the summers, Bacharim go America Shlichus. Before the Bacharim would go, many times Rabbi Chadika would meet them and give them different tips, what to do, what not to do. One time, Rabbi Chadika was speaking to a group of the Bacharim, and he told them, it's very important when you go to someone's house and they welcome you in and they give you food and drink, on the way out, make sure to go to the woman of the house and say, thank you very much, the food was delicious. So one time, there were two very chassidja Bacharim. They didn't really understand worldly matters. Before they went on the America Shlichus, they were told you have to tuck your shirt in. They didn't ever tuck their shirt in before. Somebody made them one tie. They had one tie they used the whole time. They didn't really know much about these Weltliche and Yanim, but they remembered as they were leaving the house, they remembered Rabbi Chadikov said they have to go inside to say thank you. So they walked into the kitchen and they told the woman of the house, Rabbi Chadikov says to say thank you to you. Bacharim, it's well known the difference whether you do something because you have to do it or you do something because you feel it. To explain the Chassidus, the whole idea of Gan V'apum Machtad Rachman Karye, the Ganev, when he's in the middle of stealing, he's doing a Geneva. What's he saying? Eibishter, God, help me not be caught. He's asking not to be caught. If he believes in Hashem, why are you stealing? If he doesn't believe in Hashem, which seems obvious because he's stealing, why are you davening to the Eibishter? Bacharim, the answer is that Amunah is makif. Belief is abstract. Yes, he believes, but the belief is not yet within him. It's in a makiftika way. If you believe in something and it's not a part of you, it doesn't affect your action. It doesn't affect your life. So when the Bacharim America Shlichus went to say thank you, they didn't say thank you because they understood that you have to say thank you. They said thank you like a parrot. Rabbi Chadikov says say thank you. They say thank you, but it wasn't truly a part of them. They did not own it. The Rebbe explains the reason why you have to learn on Yanugul Mashiach is because then it becomes a part of you. Instead of talking about Mashiach, instead of talking about an Inyan, instead of some nice theoretical abstract idea, yes, we have to learn about Mashiach, we have to speak about Mashiach. When you learn in Yanugul Mashiach, like you guys have been doing since this mitzvah started, it becomes something of mamashis to you. It becomes part of your mitzias. It becomes part of your chachma bin adas. It becomes part of you. The Rebbe would often quote the words of the Shalah on the pasuk Zeh Keli Vanveyu Elokei Avi V'arei Memenu. If it's Elokei Avi, if it's the God, the Eibishter of my father, V'arei Memenu, it's a reimamus, it's far from me. But if it's Zeh Keli, if it's my Eibishter, then it's Vanveyu, Ani Vahu. I am one with the Eibishter. It's personal. It's not something that belongs to my father. It belongs to me. Bacharim, I want you to understand something. Until this Chidon, until you truly took the time to learn and understand the Yana of Mashiach personally, Mashiach was abstract. It was an idea, something you knew about. But now that you learned it, it becomes a part of you. You kocht in the sichos, you spoke about the sichos, you learned it in between sdarim, you thought about it, you learned about it, you discussed it. It became yours, you own it. Ani vahu, then it's Zeh Keli. Mashiach became something that is part of you. It's not abstract, it's a reality. It no longer belongs to somebody else, it's your reality. I can tell you, we're in Shalichas Baruch Hashem, in Arizona State University, a place that the weather today was 108 degrees. They say if it's very hot, Begashmias, it's only a mirror what's happening in Baruchnias, so we know outside why it's so hot Begashmias. But Baruchnias is such a hot place. When we speak to students about a lot of things, when we speak to them about Mashiach, I can see the chayis that it gives them. I saw this in one specific way. We have Baruch Hashem a lot of classes. Our most popular class that we have was the class of Mashiach. We were surprised. A few students that were involved said, could you make a class of Mashiach? So we had a class 1 hour a week for 4 weeks. On Mashiach, everything about it. What, where, when, how. 30 students came to that class, college students. And they were there listening because they wanted to know. It was a course about Yemaisa Mashiach and the Rambam. This class was the most attended class ever in our Chabad house. Even students that didn't know about tefillin or didn't know how to daven wanted to know about Mashiach. And they learned about it. And this course inspired one student there to continue learning till what happened was that year, Shvi Shal Pesach, we have different students giving classes. The student at 3:30 in the morning was her slot. The student taught a class on the two tkufas of Mashiach for 45 minutes because she was so excited about Mashiach that she learned in a class. And from that, this led the student to ultimately learn in Rabbi Majeski's Yeshiva. And she's here now in Crown Heights. One of the keys were when she learned about Mashiach and understood what it is. So I want to say, even on college campuses where people are excited about many things, they learn about Mashiach to get very excited. I want to conclude, Bacharim, and tell you, now that you have this knowledge, it's very important not just keep this knowledge to yourself. You have the schus, and you have the achrayus to be able to share it with others. Each and every day, now that you know about this, you truly can live with Mashiach. And Simchas Torah Toshem and Beis, the Rebbe said, when you look at the Kinderlach, you see Mashiach. He said, Mashiach is Elu Tenekah Shel Beis Rabbam. When you look at the kids, you see the idea of Mashiach. And you could say, this is Mashiach. I want to say, looking at you guys, the guys who did the Chidon, you can see Mashiach. You could see somebody who truly has the idea of Mashiach as a reality. So, one note to take home with you. It's very important that you leave this room tonight. You go out of that door and you go down the steps. That you did not just go through the Chidei Mashiach, but that the Chidei Mashiach should go through you. L'chaim. I don't have l'chaim here, but l'chaim on an invisible cup. You should take everything you learned. It should become a part of who you are. Until you no longer to speak about Mashiach, you live Mashiach, and we should have Mashiach mamish now. Del lamato deskalis of Malkeinu Mashiachenu. May be here now. V'hu yigalenu amen. L'chaim. L'chaim.
And a few very important announcements before we reach the winners of tonight's Chidon Mashiach. Firstly, each and every one of you Tmimim who have invested tirelessly and brought yourself to be part of this amazing banquet, there is a special tshura awaiting each and every one of you on your way out. When you give in your badge, you give in your pass, you will receive a beautiful sefer. This is a gift, like another few details that I'm going to mention, only for those that find themselves right now in the room. If you're a bacha that's not here, is not here. And that same applies to a very special raffle on $1 of the Rebbe between all those present here. If a bacher wins the raffle, but he's not over here, me'ezes sibishatiyah, the dollar will move on. They'll make another round of a raffle, and it will go to the right tamim. As we mentioned earlier, the tamim which the Rebbe wants his chayfetz to be found by him. After the raffle, for all those in the room, all those that have reached this milestone and joined this phenomenal banquet, there will be another raffle which was promised to every yeshiva, of which more than half of the yeshiva has been finalists. This will be a raffle between the Tmimim in Yeshiva's Tomchei Tmimim Cincinnati. Following that raffle will be the raffle that we discussed earlier for all those in the crowd and virtually that have joined and texted the answers and have taken part in all the questions, and whoever passed 9 proper answers will be included in this raffle for $360 towards Sfarim and Sasavers. And then, on your way out, after announcing the winners obviously, on the way out, there are the Sfarim for all those who have won Sfarim throughout the entire duration of the program. Various different prizes. You have to be here to pick it up, and you have to pick it up today. There's a well-deserved leave that all those invested hours and days and weeks are finally going to put their head down on a pillow tonight, and after that, they're not going backwards. So please make sure on the way out, if you have won a raffle, that it's picked up tonight. That applies to the Sefer, to the Heilige Dollar from the Rebbe. There are also certificates that are waiting to be picked up for those that have been part of the program for 3 years. And it's important to note that there are some yeshivas for technical details. The data wasn't all in. So if your yeshiva was not announced between those 40 bachrim that were brought up here, you will receive your certificate as soon as the data is in by the Ma'arganim. And now, are we ready? The winners of Moshiach Chidon Tafshin Pei Vav. The third place winner, which will receive a stamp miyad ha'akdoisha of the Rebbe, like the makel of Reb Meir, Hatamim Menachem Horowitz. Second place winner, which will receive $1 miyad ha'akdoisha of the Rebbe, none other than Sadia Bell. And finally, first place winner of Moshiach Chidon, Tafshin Pei Vav, Aksav Yad Kodesh of the Rebbe, to Atamim Schneier Bigler. Please make your way up to the stage here. While the judges make their way up here, before we start the dancing celebrating these Tmimim, we will take a few moments for the previous mentioned 3 raffles. As they get up, we're going to start with the first raffle, $1 of the Rebbe for every single Tamim that has made it to this banquet. And He hit spin. The winner is none other. Mishamayim Kamemanole. The dollar of the Rebbe will be going to Hatamim. Menachem Mendel Halevi Heller. And the next raffle between the Tmimim of a yeshiva that half of the yeshiva has passed the final. Yeshiva's Tamchit Tmimim Cincinnati. I was just notified Arizona is also going to have their raffle. They also had passed a half of the yeshiva. And the lucky winner from Cincinnati Yeshiva is none other than Moshe Levi Yitzchak Estrin. And the raffle on the Rebbe's dollar for the Tmimim in Yeshiva's Tomchet Tmimim, Scottsdale, Arizona. We'll first do the raffle for all those of you who have joined the Chidon themselves by texting in the correct answers. And the winner of the $360 towards Svarim for being Mishtatev in the Chidon, Gula Moshiach Tavshin Peivav. As a partner in the banquet, will go to Hatamim or virtually. Shmulik Baumgarten. Get your fist great Satan. I want to tell you the Simcha is not only Simcha Sagol, it's the Simcha for these Tmimim that are getting a chayfetz from the Rebbe. And Arizona's raffle. Turn your eyes to the screen. The lucky winner of Shiva's Tomchet Tmimim in Scottsdale, Arizona is none other than Atamim Menachem Schusterman.